Hi guys, today we're going to be reviewing the Tatcha face primer and its more cost-effective dupe. Okay, so today I wanted to go ahead and do a video on a face primer that I really love and I use, and it is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer. And I know there's a lot of videos out there like this. I just really wanted to do it because it's something that I do use, and I've also used its more cost-effective counterpart, and I really wanted to show the differences between the two and really show you the similarities between the two. That way, if you're not on a Tatcha budget, you still are able to get a very similar quality. So the cost-effective dupe is, my husband enters a weird drum roll here or something, some weird effect. This e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you the differences first. Right off the bat, obviously the packaging. They have really beautiful packaging. It comes in this really pretty box, and it has this sliding box that goes over it, which I don't have anymore. I just keep it in here. And it also comes with this little kind of scraper thing for you to scoop the product out so you don't have to use your actual hands if you don't want to. Inside the box has a little information in it here as well. Now this e.l.f. primer right here, this is the container packaging. Like I don't hate this packaging. And then when you open it up, this is the product, and I have used it a couple times, as you see. It's essentially the same amount of product. It's off by like a 0.02 or something like that. So you have 0.7 ounces in here, e.l.f. 0.8 ounces. So it's not a huge difference, but the e.l.f. one, I will say, once I open this up to show you guys, and you guys can see I've used this one quite a bit, but this one here, it's a lot of plastic, but the packaging inside makes it look like it doesn't have as much product in it. The way they do it, it's a lot more smaller, so it looks like a lot more because it looks a lot thicker. So that's one thing that like I noticed packaging wise. As far as first impressions when you open it up, Tatcha does have light fragrance, which I personally love the scent of this, but if you're not into fragrances or fragrances bother you, this might be something that would make you kind of want to deter away from this. The e.l.f. one has no real scent at all. I'm indifferent. It doesn't have to have a scent to me, but if you don't like stuff with scents, this would actually be a point on the e.l.f. side for you. The other obvious big difference here is that the Tatcha primer is $52. What? For the full size. They do have a mini, which is $22. So if you wanted to try this out, I know Sephora carries a little mini bundle, and that is $22. So the full size one, which I'm using in this video, is $52, whereas the e.l.f. primer is $8. So that is a giant difference, especially if the quality as far as how it works is pretty close to the same. So that's what we're really going to be testing out today. So I'm going to go ahead and be applying the Tatcha to one side. So I'm going to apply the Tatcha to my left side, and I'm going to apply the e.l.f., which is upside down, to my right side. And we're gonna go ahead and put this on. We're gonna use the same face products on my face. I'm gonna do my whole makeup, and then we're gonna come back in a couple hours and we're gonna see how it wears. I've cleaned my face already. I have some water on my little face halo thing, and I'm just gonna do that just to make sure I didn't miss anything on my face, make sure my face is nice and clean and it's all even. I really like this one because it fits on my finger. And then I am going to be applying this Tatcha Violet Sea Brightening Serum. I like to put this on my face before I do my makeup, especially when I'm doing like more of a full face makeup, because it does actually help the primer and everything kind of stay on my face. So I'm gonna put this evenly on both sides so that it is exactly the same and we aren't having any like differences on one side versus the other. And this just helps kind of brighten your skin up a little bit too, which I like, because sometimes we got tired looking faces. All right, so I said Tatcha on the left, right? I'm gonna mess this up. I really do love that it comes with this little thing, especially since I usually have like some crazy nails. And I don't want to like be scooping my fingernail into the product. So I really like that it comes with this, and I actually use this on like all of my primers now. So I'm doing kind of like a pea-sized amount here because that's really what it says. That's all you need. I'm only gonna use half of what I just put on here. So I wanna make sure that I'm using the same amount. See, I just used my fingernail and this is what happens. And this is why we can't have nice things. And I'm not gonna lie, I normally use a little bit more primer than they suggest, but for purposes of this video, I'm gonna use exactly what is suggested, which is like a pea-sized amount. I'm just gonna use the little bit that they're saying. And this one is supposed to help like minimize your pores. That's what it claims to do. And give you a nice, even, smooth finish. And you know what, I can't, I gotta use a little bit more. So I'm gonna use the amount that I put on here, and I'll just use the same amount of the e.l.f. on the other side too. So it's still the same amount. All right, and then I'm gonna take this and do the same thing. I'm gonna get the same amount here. There we go. Same amount. All right, we're gonna get that on there. I'm really also going to really be looking at and focusing on, oh God. My nose is like my oily problem area on my face, so that's really where I look to see if a primer is really doing a good job, because the rest of my face I don't have a whole lot of issues, but it's really this nose that I have happening here, and then right under here and underneath my eyes is where I will see like if I have any sliding happening. All right. Primer is on, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. I'm gonna go ahead and get my foundation, my concealer, my powder on, and then we'll come back and see if we have any initial thoughts. I will say with both of these on, they both feel about the same as far as they have a little bit of a tackiness, but nothing crazy. That Tatcha scent, like I don't smell it now. Yeah, everything feels the same. If you're looking at my pores here, I feel like I look the same. I'm not noticing a huge difference yet as far as like pores and things like that. I do have larger pores, but you don't tend to see them until I start applying makeup. So that's really where it's gonna be a test of how well it's holding up. All right, so I have my setting spray, I have my tinted moisturizer, I have my concealer, I put my setting powder on, and then I just spray my face with my setting spray. I use the same amount of product on both sides, the same products, everything like that, so everything on my face is the same. So I'm gonna look here. I mean, initially, I feel like I have a little bit more product sticking on this side, which was the e.l.f. side versus the Tatcha side. It just so happens too, I do have a blemish on this side, and then I have a blemish on this side. So this one had the Tatcha on it, and this one had the e.l.f. and the product kind of stuck a little bit better to this one here. This one is also kind of poking through here still, so I'm gonna have to hit that with a little bit more concealer. But otherwise, I'm not noticing a huge difference. I just do feel like I have a little bit more of my setting powder kind of blended onto this side more than on this side. Pores, I feel like they look the same as far as my nose goes. Everything's product stuck to my nose and everything like that, so I'm not seeing a huge difference. Forehead, I do have these wrinkles, which kind of, no matter what I do, I have, but they're even and equal on the same side. So for right now, I feel like I'm seeing pretty similar product. If anything, the e.l.f. side's held my makeup a little bit better, so we'll see if that stays like that or if throughout the day it kind of wears off faster. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face, get my bronzer, my blush, my highlight, my mascara, all that fun stuff on, and then we'll come back and just see if I'm seeing any difference as I'm adding more powder to my face, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I've got my bronzer, my blush, and my highlighter on. I went ahead and sprayed my face again with my setting spray. I usually like to do that first when I put my setting powder on, and then I do it again at the end. That just kind of helps keep everything in place. Overall, I feel like it looks really even on both sides. Obviously, the one thing like with my lines and stuff, that's something I just can't hide because I got lines for days, but it is what it is. But as far as like my pores, I feel like my nose is covered. I didn't have problems getting my product on my face or having it stay where I wanted it to go, which is good. Right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just go about my day, and I'm gonna come back in a couple hours and we're gonna see how this is wearing and how this is holding up and kind of see if we're noticing a difference on either side. So I'll see you guys in a little bit and we'll talk about it. All right, so I went ahead and wore my makeup the whole day. I went out, I ran some errands, I've been outside, I even took a nap. So this is after the end of the day before I'm getting ready to wash my face off. My makeup really stayed really well still. I'm not seeing any lifting or anything like that in any area of my nose. Again, this is the e.l.f. side here. Everything's still really good and in place. The only place I really saw any lifting on makeup was obviously like my little blemish here, but that's kind of, I assumed as much, especially since of where it's at. So I just, you know, put a little bit more concealer there throughout the day. Here, my chin area, which is another area where I tend to lose some product. There's a little product loss here, but it's not really anything that you would notice. That's probably the only place where I've lost some makeup is actually probably right here. My nose still looks really good around my mouth here where I usually have areas and issues. And then this is the e.l.f. side, and the e.l.f. side looks really good too. I'm not really seeing any huge difference. I'm not seeing any excessive oiliness or anything like that. So I feel like for the price difference and the fact that you can find this e.l.f. product at Target, Walmart, anywhere that carries e.l.f. products versus the Tatcha, which like we said was $50+ this is definitely worth the money, because I really genuinely can't tell a difference in one side versus the other on what I used. Let me know if you guys have any other suggestions for primers that maybe are also comparable to this one, or if there's any other products out there that you want me to kind of try to see as far as like a more cost-effective dupe to a higher end product. I always love doing those kind of things. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit a like on this video. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the little notification bell so you get notifications on any videos I do in the future. And I will see you guys on the next video.